Hello. Programming the future through movies and books. It is no secret that any information received by a person changes it for the better or for the worse. This is what any preschool, secondary school, higher school is built on. But in addition to general education, each person finds and receives the information he needs through self-education. But education and getting information also happens in everyday life. Any conversations of people, information from radio or TV are also training. Any information carries positive and negative knowledge and qualities. This means that the future life of such a person may also be associated with the development of creation or with the destruction of degradation. Let's say that now the situation with the virus and the attitude of people to everything has been programmed and created by films and books released over the past 15 years. Of course, you may not believe it. But if you look at what happened in the 90s of the last century on the territory of the countries of the former USSR, namely, the destruction of families, crime, banditry, free love, sex, it was all laid down since the mid-70s. When movies about Fantomas, cowboys, detectives and books of the detective genre, romance novels appeared in cinemas. And since the mid-80s, there have been many video salons where you could see action movies, erotic films and others. When people have already received enough of this kind of information and the goal of many was to live in these conditions, even if everything is made up, the collapse of the country occurred. People were given freedom and the right to get anything from life, as long as people did not interfere and did not see how they were robbed. Previously, crimes and criminals were shown as they are, without embellishment. But now there are films where maniacs and bandits are shown as good people saving the world with good qualities. Basically, it's a superhero movie, various comics. Often such characters are described from real-life people and their negative actions. But in the past, if a character is negative, then in his other films he is negative and this was normal. But in recent decades, they have suddenly turned from negative to good and merciful. The question arises for what is being done. After all, older people understand that a scoundrel, even behind the mask of goodness, is still a scoundrel. In addition, many people lived at a time when they caught maniacs and murderers and understood that these people by their actions bring death to other people. But young people do not understand this. They did not find it, but they found a movie that shows, for example, the Joker as a victim and that he does everything right. And so that there are no claims against the company that created this film, they show that he is being bullied and he has mental disorders. So it is with other films, for example Suicide Squad, showing that they are prisoners and are in prison, and when it is necessary to save the world, they are released as expendable material. Young people who like to watch such films and want to be like these characters themselves. They just don't take into account that they can become similar only by immersing themselves in their life and everyday life. This means the loss of everything that they themselves have, including mental health and a drop in social status. And when they get closer to their goal, they will not be up to a movie hero, but how to survive in new conditions. To fall and lose quickly and to return what is lost requires a lot of effort and time and even years. It's one thing for those who have lived in similar conditions, and quite for those who had a good life and well-being. Now these characters are popular, you can find a lot of pictures with them on the internet. But it won't last long. It is already possible from the middle or by the end of 2022, the Joker and other characters will gradually be created less and interest in them will end. This is due to the fact that, as people say, events have occurred that have hit those who have ruled our world for a couple of thousand years very hard. They kind of lost to the Sunfire people of goodness. And now the world is gradually changing towards development and goodness. And these films were created by film studios that were themselves part of and with the money of those who ruled the world. They were not interested in the world evolving and developing, and did everything that contributed to degradation and destruction. So people looking at such art through films, books, paintings received fear, depression, obscurations. And most people, creating copies of these characters, unknowingly advertised evil, violence and wars. At any moment, they can shift all responsibility for any military conflict to these talented people. There is a great hope that these talented people will listen to their hearts and start creating characters, seeing which people will wake up to positive joyful states, emotions and feelings. Thanks for watching, subscribe to the channel. May you always have joy, health, money, a white even fate, social growth, talent, creativity, a positive outlook on everything around.